Another amazing day, another grateful day to be back here with you all, our viewers, wherever you're picking up signal around the world. We say welcome. Thank you for joining us here on our 139th edition. This is the Issues Room, an alternative social media podcast that comes your way on Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, we're happy to be back here with you wherever you are. We say thank you for joining us. We hope tonight that you'll join us for the first time. For those of you, our regular viewers, it is our prayer you'll always be with us. We thank you for your continued commitment to the platform, and we encourage you to be a part of what we do here. Our discussions are always very much enlightening. We bring you the happenings in our country, on the continent of Africa, and in the diaspora. This evening, we'll be looking at the current situation with regards to voter trucking in Liberia has been alleged. We'll play some clips around what is trending. Uh, the National Elections Commission declared voter registration. And so some people are being pulled to other districts to register, which is against the electoral laws of our country. Um, we'll also be doing our what type of country is this segment that will be coming up later on toward the end of the broadcast. And tonight we wanted to introduce something different. We'll be doing the memory lane by a Liberian who writes some of the nostalgic stories of the upbringing, and it will be something good. We can look at it. The name is Mane Sumo, Augustine Mane Sumo. So again, we say thank you for joining us. Welcome. Welcome. Let us know you're here. Alfonso, Moses, good to be back.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It's,
Volcano.
it's
Thank
good
you.
to be
Good to
back
see
as
you.
well.
But man,
Yep.
this evening we don't want to drag. Let's just go straight
Mhm.
into trending news. Uh,
Yeah.
Moses, I know you will probably will cover two or three stories. So let's go straight into it and begin this conversation.
Well, there are a lot of things out there, but let's begin with the most talked about story. President George Weah is currently en route to Liberia. It's my understanding that just a moment, please.
We are one choke the mail. We are seeing you got start your show. You start
You
on me.
tired, show me I do with you. No
You still
problem.
muted, Moses.
Yeah, it is my understanding that the president departed the United States today, heading back to Liberia. He's suspected to also stop over in Ghana before going to Liberia. But what the news is that this trip to the United States is very unusual. Whenever foreign dignitaries are being invited to the United States, the invitation comes through the State Department. This time it was directly from the Central Intelligence Agency, the director of the CIA. And so when the president and his delegation came, they met with the director at the CIA headquarters in Virginia. And what is being reported out there is that the discussion centered around Liberia's poor human rights record. Massive corruption, the abuse, the unresolved murder cases, issues regarding the Russian and Chinese infiltration of the Liberian society, issues regarding the infiltration of drug dealers into the country. It is my understanding that these are the issues that really stood out. And
And
in that
money
meeting,
laundering too, right?
yeah, money laundering. Yeah, you struck a very salient point. Money laundering as well. So this was not really a friendly discussion. And it really bothered me that a sitting president will be called to the United States to be scolded, reprimanded like a kid. You know, in the past, when the president came to this country, you saw the pageantry, and they were all on Facebook displaying who he met and what really happened. But this one, it wasn't like that. Even the individuals that he took with him to the meeting, a good number of them, a good number of his delegation, you know, uh, those individuals were not allowed to be a part of that meeting. In the meeting, they had the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Defense, and others. So that just tells me, that I don't think America is happy with President Weah and what is obtaining in Liberia in terms of human rights. And I would like to give it to you guys for your input.
Anything you know from your end, Alfonso?
So I do not know any specifics about the meeting. However, I did hear
Speculations?
speculations and some of the issues that Moses mentioned are actually factual and truthful because they have been reported on before that Liberia was being infiltrated by a number of people, including representatives of terrorist organizations who were coming into Liberia, given the corrupt nature of the country, to launder their money. So they were coming into the country, they were bribing government officials, they were setting up businesses and then bringing in, dirty money and trying to launder it through those businesses and then send the money back to support their terrorist and devilish activities. So I've heard that has even been reported on in the open before, and of course it continues. I know there was a report about a year or two ago of one such groups that set up shop and started a business in Liberia and also in Sierra Leone. And given the fact that, the terrorists, Al Qaeda, Islamic State, etc., are now beginning to take a foothold in Africa, especially West Africa, Niger, Mali, Nigeria, etc. Their use of Liberian territory and the corrupt system, the manipulation of the corrupt system in Liberia to set up shop to launder their money and to support their subversive and terrorist activities in Liberia. I heard, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was discussed, because I do know that has been on the agenda of the American government and of the international community in general for a while now.
Let me say that what I heard from other sources is that the meeting at the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, was to engage President Weah on opening a base, an operation base in Liberia. It had nothing to do with all of the speculations mentioned, accordingly from sources, and they wanted to open the base, and he offered, I believe, no, rather they offered to use the Omega navigation station, the old site, because it was a big parcel of land. But once they pulled out, that land was taken back by the village back there called Kenneth Town, I believe, and because usually these villages that are around these places, the original people are the ones with the matter D. And so if the government wants to do something, they will provide that parcel of land. And that was the case with Boys Town Institute in the Marshall Shuffling area. For many of those public facilities you see government utilize, the land is not for government. It was willed to them. And so when the operation is no more, the villagers take the land back. And that was the case with the Omega navigation site. And so that place has now been taken over by civilian squatters, market building to move all of those things. So according to President Weah said he couldn't give that place, but he volunteered a place in Grand Crew County. Said they should go to Grand Crew County to set up the base. So I don't know how true this is, but that's the story that's trending right now. Also, so I guess it can be looked at both ways. And for instance, if he was actually brought in for, take this dossier and put it before him and say, hey, my man, let's flip the page here. Is this one true? Is this one lie? Is this one true? Isn't this happening? With actual facts, showing these pictures, then of course it could be a two-way street. And so is there a way to kind of say, listen, We got you now. So what we want, you must agree to. Who knows? You know.
Yeah, but Volcano again. That's one angle of the story. But sources close to the leadership and media report itself had come across to say that that meeting was more than someone asking to use Liberia, for security operation. It was rather meant to tell the president his team of leaders that hey, America is concerned about what is obtaining in the country, the
But
uncontrollable,
yeah, but if you
human
look at it,
rights abuse.
if you look at it, the fact that the CIA director visited Liberia, couldn't he have said these things? Did he have?
Oh, but
Did they have to bring President? Is it?
it,
Is
it,
so?
it,
So let me finish. Is it a part of the humiliation? Is it a part of telling him, say, listen, you just a boy? Because that wouldn't happen with President William R. Talbot. That would have
and
happened, with, So why would they treat the guy like this? They don't take his leadership to be significant as the president of the country. Because if the CIA director visited Liberia, he could have put all of those things before him. Why invite the
absolutely.
man to come here? Like you bringing him for questioning, like he committed crime and you bring him for questioning. I
And
mean,
and
it's just
and
my
and
thought.
and Volcano, I know Alfonso, you're gonna come in, right? But a Volcano, like you say, if that was it, then they could not have discussed that in Monrovia. Why did we not see the normal pageantry that accompanies the visit of world leaders? Why didn't we see that? This man was literally scolded. He was reprimanded. He was reduced to nothing. A sitting president of a sovereign country. He was.
But then,
It's,
Moses, it tells you that the way President Weah had treated the presidency, he took the juice out of the presidency. He turned the presidency into a part-time job. He's done a lot more than less with the presidency. And so
yeah.
that is why probably they treat him like this. Quickly before Alfonso
So
coming,
yeah,
I'd like to quickly recognize Ambassador Romeo M. Sonda, or rather B. Sonda of GS Road in Painesville. Good evening. Welcome. Stay with us tonight. Going to be a great one. Fergie Monyu, thank you for coming. Bennett O'Kerner, my friend and brother, thank you for coming. Continue to encourage others to join us. Yeah, go ahead.
so I did also hear of Volcano that there was again all of these are speculations that the U.S. government is interested in setting up shop somewhere in West Africa, Liberia included, again because of the rise in Islamic terrorist activities
And China's influence on the continent.
in the region, as well as China's influence in the region, and of course the Russians are also going into the region, sending their I forget the name of this Wagner group into the region as well. So the U.S. does have interest in having a presence in the region to counter, those threats in the region. So that was in addition, according to my information, that was in addition to basically letting President Weah know that the corruption and malfeasance in his government is contributing towards the growth and presence of those organizations in Liberia, and therefore their impact on the West Africa region as a whole. So it was, again, my information. I wasn't in the meeting. I did not talk to any official sources, but my information is that the meeting was twofold. It was, this is what's happening in your country. This is the impact it's having on the region, and it needs to be brought to an end. And we want to set up shop there, and we will work with you, the government, people of Liberia, to make sure that this is halted and that peace, exists in the region. Because the Islamic State is very active and growing exponentially in West Africa, just as other terrorist organizations that seem to be leaving Asia, because they've been uprooted there and are now, really setting up shop across Africa, especially in West Africa, and that is a international.
It has to be a
Yeah.
situation of concern. I mean,
Yeah.
you think about it, and especially how porous Liberia's border is.
Exactly.
It's very vulnerable.
Exactly.
Corruption at the border and things
Yep.
that are happening at the border. Imagine the infiltration of drugs, the infiltration of uh, monies that are coming
Mhm.
through our borders.
Mhm.
I talked to someone. The person said, "My man, money in this country.
Yeah.
Money is in the country."
Yeah.
And you have to be on the inside to know what's happening when it
Mhm.
comes to the money that is in the country, but only certain people have access to those monies. And like we talked about in the scheme of corruption, uh so indeed, I will hope that the meeting kind of benefited the Liberian government and also the United States government. That
Mhm.
would be my hope,
Yeah.
and the people of Liberia in general. Because again, uh, this election's coming up should either do good for the country or put the country further back.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
is our hope that we want our country to make a major transformation because it's been too long and it's overdue. You know.
Yeah, but and quickly, let me just let you guys know that according to Front Page Africa, at the end of that meeting, a gag order was issued. That hey, nobody told the media what we discussed here. We don't want this in the public. So and that is where I would also want to come from. If this was meant to ask for, hey, we want to do this, we want you to play this role, that's something that the government would have had series of town halls even before George we are leaving this country. You know how they operate. The Minister of Information did not attend that meeting. He was one of the guys that they denied for entering
But it meant that information
the
minister.
meeting.
That meant the
And-
PC.
They said they don't want information out there.
You know, a lot of
Information
news
man.
men to go in after
Information man
really.
can't enter.
Yes, it's not.
you know, so all the guys who are closer to the president, you know,
You
they
think
had a breath
Olasco
in
in
their
that
mouth.
meeting?
Kolasco did not. How do don't do that, man, for Canada.
But
Why
man,
not,
The Minister of Information was denied. Then you're talking about a presidential aide?
but it means de facto information minister. Sometimes the man plays the role, right?
But
You got to do photo. You got to
no,
take
but man, you're
pictures.
taking it at a
Are you
different
sure
level now.
Olasco was not in that meeting, my
Oh,
man?
come on.
All right, okay. I rest my
Yeah.
case.
Our friend and brother Ledger, who did not attend that meeting, even though he was in the United States, he's the spokesman for the government. The Minister of Defense, the Minister of Justice, you know, the guys were in attendance. It was
Yeah,
a very
because
serious meeting.
I mean, they are the ones who manning security in the country. If you talk
Mhm.
defense, you talk justice. You know,
Yeah.
people, because
Imagine,
the
yep.
justice minister, I believe, is the boss for the police director, the immigration
Exactly.
boss,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
All
Yeah,
of
he's
these different
he's
people. So
Attorney
he's
General.
like this.
CI, I mean, how they call it, NSA, etc.
Yeah, all the guys are answerable.
all the
Yeah.
parastatuses
He
outside of
is
the
the
military.
head of
He's the
Yeah.
boss.
security.
All right,
Yeah.
but let's move on to the next news.
Yeah.
Right?
You want to talk big tip quickly about the human rights record?
No, I didn't get to
And-
look at it. I was so busy today.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me just throw this in so you guys
Okay.
can weigh in on it. The 2022 Human Rights Report, compiled by the U.S. has been released, and the report is not good for Liberia in terms of human rights abuse for Canada. A deputy commander at one of the police headquarters in Liberia, in our report, is accused of raping a police officer in his office in 2022. When that happened, the office, rape is a serious offense. What did the police do? The deputy commander was suspended for some days and he returned to work. No punitive action. The Ministry of Justice, the Liberia National Commission on Human Rights, they asked for a further proof of this matter. The matter was submitted, yet the Supreme Court is there to act on our case. At the Monrovia Central Prison, and this is very sad, Volcano. At the Monrovia Central Prison, the prison was initially established for 300 prisoners. Right now, you got up to almost 1,500 prisoners who are prison in a facilities. So as a result of that, you had inadequate space for the prisoners. Guess what? The prisoners take time to sleep. They say, well, Volcano, you can go,
I
you
see
can go
what
to
a
bed.
minute it take turn to go and rob in the night. Then they won't sleep in the day. Then they go in the night to go and rob and punish the poor people. Eh?
But many,
So,
but many people
they
take time
to
to sleep. Yeah, they tell you, say, okay, look, Moses, Volcano, and Alphonso,
Yeah,
you
you're
guys will
sleeping.
go to bed for 2 hours. And after 2 hours, you got to be up. So Joe Mason, St. Johnson, and Jackson Seaton
Stop
can
calling
also,
people names.
you know, these are our friends. These are our friends. So you guys can go to bed and sleep too. No food. Where are we?
But and our jetty now turn to the food supplier.
The food supplier.
So
you're talking-
Prophet Key was saying that
Yeah.
Jetty putting in Indian DeLoreans in the food out there, all the people in the prison.
So very briefly, in the executive summary of the human rights report, I just read portions of it very briefly.
Yeah.
In the executive summary, paragraph 3 of the executive summary says significant human rights issues included credible reports of unlawful or arbitrary killings, including extrajudicial killings, cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment by the government, harsh and life-threatening prison conditions, which is what you were referring to, Moses, arbitrary arrest or detention. So people just, they can arrest anybody anytime and detain them without cause. Serious problems with the independence of the judiciary, which is very, very serious. Because where do people go to see justice when the judiciary is not independent and when it is corrupt? Restrictions on freedom of expression and media, including violence and threats of violence against journalists, serious government corruption, which is very critical, lack of investigation and accountability for gender-based violence. You talk about rape, including child, early and forced marriage, etc., etc. So, and they continue to say that impunity continued for individuals who committed human rights abuses, including atrocities during the 2 civil wars, as multiple investigative and audit reports were ignored.
Yes.
And
that is, I'm sorry, Volcano, Alphonso, and that is happening at the level of national security.
Yep.
There are security officers in Liberia who feel that they are above the laws of the country. Culture of impunity.
Yep.
Unfortunately, this report came out while President Weah was in Virginia. And somebody said they were sitting there discussing how to set up an agency in Liberia. The United States is not happy with Mr. Weah and his leadership.
Yeah. And especially when they're putting all the monies into sustaining the peace, creating
absolutely
developmental package. Because I know for a fact that most of the money is coming out of the World Bank. America has to put a stamp on it.
Significantly.
It's not just because they want to give Liberia money for free or they're so sorry for us, but also what are we doing with what we've been given? The people know, they can see. Not to say the president has not done little development here and there, but compared to what I believe they've received as a government, even from Ellen's time and during her reign, so much more could have moved our country forward. How much is Liberia? How much do we really need? The basic incentives, if you put it in place for our people, of course, a lot will happen. But unfortunately, few people take the monies, they bring it abroad. They do what they want to do here. From that report, we hear that we are the monies that he getting through the money laundering. He's building properties, real estate properties in Senegal, in Dubai, and also in Morocco. So some of these visits you see when President Weah make a stop, I'm sure he going to check on his gains. But those were just three places they talked about in some of the stories that trending.
Yeah.
But that's just Weah. How much more about Nathaniel McGill, who had more than $4 million in a Ghanaian bank account and denied that, how much more about the other guys who are saving money all over the world? So how will our country go forward when these things are happening? And so just to wrap up trending news, Yeke Koluba, the man is furious. His neighborhood, his place being attacked by seditions, as he put it. Police were around and he was cursing up and he said, "You're standing here, anything happening. Hey, you're not a policeman like you. But if I ready to take action, any one of you get in the way, force against force. And if I have to, if policeman has to suffer, he will suffer it. Because you sit there every time I complain, you don't do it." And so one of the videos I saw, they had fire in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
I believe it's on the old road. His district.
Yeah, where he lives. Yeah.
And so the young people, his supporters, say he had more than 1,000 men just ready to take on CD. And he said, in fact, I would take them all the way to the party headquarters. When I'm going after them, I'll go after them to the party headquarters. So this is serious stuff.
Very serious.
It is.
This is serious stuff. And we haven't even gotten into campaign, even though I see campaign going on. Sir Joseph was campaigning for Mr. Weah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He went to this place where he was donating monies for women to do business, $1 million. And then he said, the last thing I want to tell you, please vote for my big brother, George Manuel Weah. Would the National Elections Commission say something about that? But then if the opposition does that, or if an opposition does that, then they say, "Oh, you're violating the elections, laws." Go ahead, Alphonso.
No, exactly. I was going to say that, yes, and I want to go back to the issue of corruption, which you raised. Not only is it really affecting Liberians and impacting Liberians, especially young Liberians who now roam the streets, and unfortunately we call them Zogos because there are no jobs, there are no opportunities for them. When a government official takes a bribe from a businessman, first of all, which businessman is going to come into the country with legitimate money and will be willing to give you $100,000, $50,000, $200,000 of his own money? No. These are corrupt people who are stealing money from places, who are using terrorist activities. So they come with their money. They're willing to give it to you because what they're looking for is shelter for their money. And so they open one store and then they use that store to then funnel their money back to the terrorist organizations. They use it to get gold and diamonds, illicitly to fund their terrorist activities. Or subversive activities in other countries, again, Mali, Niger, Chad, Nigeria, etc. So that's affecting Liberians, which is very significant, but it's also affecting peace and security in the West African sub-region, which might even come back to haunt us tomorrow. So it's critical. I mean, you have Miguel, you have Twewe, and the other gentleman,
Serena Sifas,
who was sanctioned by the United States government for corruption, with specific acts of corruption pointed to by the U.S. Treasury Department. Have they ever been investigated by the Justice Ministry? Have they ever been investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission? No. They're parading the country with their stolen wealth, and they're in fact using it more and more to gain more control and power over the people and to continue their corruption. So people seeing these things going on would think, oh, I can do and get away too. And that is the culture of impunity that eventually breaks the society down. And so it's especially, as you said, we're going to elections. Violence is happening. Nobody's being held accountable. Imagine on election day, violence breaks out. Imagine on election day, a candidate just decides this is not going my way, or I think I'm being cheated, and storms a polling place. What's going to happen? Who's there to protect them or to stop them? Let's say Yagakolva goes with 1,000 people to a polling place. What happens? So these are serious issues going on in the country that need to be.
It's 7:30 now, gentlemen. I think we're
Yeah.
done with
Mhm.
training news.
Yeah.
If you just joining us, we say welcome to our 139th edition here, the Issues Room, the alternative social media platform. Will come your way Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. in the Greenwich time zone, particularly Liberia. We'd like to welcome Ambassador Romeo B. Sunda of GSA Road, Fergie Monyu, Beno O'Connor, Yumontro Krenga. We're looking forward to Thomas Awaji and the rest. I guess those guys are chilling this evening. They're not coming in the chat room yet, but I'm sure at some point they'll do. But our conversation tonight, we wanted to look at some of the irregularities right now that is ongoing in the country as we gear up for our national elections on October 10th this year. The National Elections Commission started the voter registration, and again, all is not well. Day 1 and day 2 was horrible. Even Nathaniel McGill was complaining about the wait and how it was just unbearable. But lately, we've been seeing people talking about photo trucking. And what that is, Moses, can you quickly explain before I play the clip?
Well, it's very simple. If I live in Tumpo Village and there's a candidate who resides in Painesville, and a candidate has interest in running, say, for a position in Painesville, the person comes to me and says, Moses, I can take you to Painesville. You register to vote for me in Painesville, even though I reside in Tumbo Village. And they come and get me along with other people. We go, we register. Time for vote. We go to Painesville and vote for that candidate, which of course will undermine the process. So that's why it is, voter trucking.
So
you
then-
move
so then-
voters
so
from
then
one
it's
point
like-
to another.
So it's like in the case of the school system here, particularly the public school system,
Yeah,
you must go to school in your
where you
address,
reside. Yeah.
where you reside.
Mhm.
There's no way around it. Now, if you do it the other way around, where you take somebody else's address in Newcastle, then that you will have to carry that person to school every day on you. But if you're caught, it's still
It's criminal.
it's criminal. So
criminal,
that's the explanation there. So let me go to the clip first, and so you can see firsthand some young people who they were paying $10 to move. So now they tied the two men together.
These young people
That's him losing his shirt.
being brought into district number 7 to come and register for $10. But unfortunately, it was discovered that they were being chopped. So some citizens of District 7 immediately informed the police. The police went there, got them. We are here on Center Street, and they were being kept at Center Street depot. So they are being put on the speaker to take them to Center. All right. They are alleging that they was brought into the district to do their registration by Wale Power. All right, but after all this time, the guys were not able to receive their money from the person that they was brought into the district to do registration for. less voter trucking. All right, they are still bringing. All right.
The bring the man 2x2. Standing together 2x2.
Never get out again.
They put it in Noah's Ark.
They're bringing that 2x2.
They're bringing that
2x2. Stand together.
So, my man, let's go, man.
So why are they bringing that 2x2?
All right, you keep following. I'm going to drive behind the speaker up to Central. Thank you for being there. My name is Alphonso Donzo, reporting for OK.
All right. So, like I was saying, right? The man,
Yeah.
the
Bringing that 2x2.
2x2. 2x2. And they're going into Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
They pick out a Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Don't begin to want to give it, they can't give it. What if we made it? What if we run behind
I
it?
know.
You know,
They're not afraid of the policeman, that the community people, they're afraid of the community people will chase them and beat them.
Man, if we even get platoon, then you say, what do we do?
so Moses, yeah, let's start a
Yeah.
conversation here now. So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
So looking, I mean, I
Go
was
ahead.
just reading Front Page Africa
Yeah.
3 days ago, and there's a lot of reports of voter trucking going on. I mean, they talk about how an NPA bus full of people, was attacked by community people because this bus was, I guess, hired by a politician, and it was taking people to their district to go register to vote at district that they do not belong in. And it's also happened in Grand Bassar and other places around the country. And it's terrible. It's bad. However, I think our system encourages that. For example, when people go to register, what do they go with? How do you even know where the person lives or doesn't live? Like, do they go with IDs? Do they have anything to show that this is my address, I live here, and therefore register based upon that address? I think the entire system is flawed. So it contributes towards this very dangerous and corrupt act of people going, in districts that they don't live to go and vote because politicians struck them there and paid them money. I will hope that, it doesn't stop at those kids who are being thrown into the pickup, that they also go after the people who are actually paying them to do these kinds of things, because that's how you stop it. You go to the root cause of it. The politicians who are giving them the $10 and send it. And I also hope that it doesn't just target opposition politicians, that it also goes across, that is applied to everybody as well.
Yeah, if I can just say something, right? Well put, Alphonso. Honestly speaking, the problem we're looking at here did not start with this administration. It's an age-old problem in Liberia. The election laws of Liberia do not frown on voters trucking. It happened during the Salif administration. Even the 2017 election, people were moved from one constituency to another brazenly, and nothing happened. And honestly speaking, voter trucking undermines the electoral process negatively. It erodes the entire process. Because take, for example, if a Volcano lives on GSA Road, I live in Tombo Village. Alphonso, you live in Tombo Village. We go to GSA Road to vote, to register and vote for Volcano. Basically, we are imposing our will on the people who live in that particular district.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
And that's what voter tracking does. You are giving people lawmakers that they did not vote for. Lawmakers that will come, that will pay little or no attention to the needs of those people because you from another location undermine the process.
But so let me understand something here, right? And
Yes.
sometimes it comes across very confusing.
Mhm.
On the electoral
Yeah.
ballots rather,
Yeah.
uh, I everybody's there, and whether I sit down in Nima County and I want to vote for Volcano, who is running on GSA road, I can vote for him.
Okay. So
That I don't have to go there, because if he's my candidate, he's on the ballot. It doesn't matter where I'm at in the country. I can vote for that person, right? Because
yeah,
that's the way I think it happens here in America.
yeah, but this is
I can be here and vote for the American president. I can go to California and still vote for the American president.
that's for the presidency.
Okay, so the
For
senator.
legislative seats,
Uh-huh.
for legislative seats, you have
Okay.
to vote in your constituency. And what we see happening is primarily for legislative seats.
So, but my question here is
Yes.
for legislative and senatorial, because I don't think
Yeah,
they.
yeah.
Okay.
That's other than
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you got it right. Legislative, that's the whole thing.
yeah.
Okay. So for legislative seat,
yeah,
so I'm representing GSA Road as representative for district number 3. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
say district number 3 or district number 4.
yeah,
And the ballot will carry me for district number 4.
yes.
But that same ballot can be seen by the people in Topa Village.
No, it cannot.
No.
Also,
Your ballot,
you see,
your
I've not
ballot.
been in Liberia for the elections, so I don't know how they disseminate and carry the ballots around. I thought that the ballot looks like the calendar, because the one for Charles time I saw it.
Around, no,
Yeah,
it
and
doesn't work like
all
that.
of the people, the district, the name, and so you just vote for the one. So I can be anywhere and vote for the representative in Painesville.
No,
That's what I was thinking.
So this is how it works. Even like in the great United States here, when general and presidential elections comes up and Volcano is running to be president of the United States, Volcano's photo will be on the ballot for the entire country. That I can stay in Delaware, Volcano, and vote for you. Alphonso can be in Pennsylvania and vote for you. But if Alphonso is running for a legislative seat or is running for a representative seat in Pennsylvania, I in Delaware cannot vote for Alphonso because I will not even be able to see him on the ballot.
No. Move Delaware out.
Yeah.
You not stay in Lancaster. Can you not stay in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You cannot. You cannot.
Yeah.
But what it is, you vote for the person, the candidate in the district
where
you live.
Yeah, where
and
you live.
The ballot for that specific district, the ballots for that district will be printed only for the candidates in that district. So, for example, district number 8. You have Volcano, you have Moses, you have Yakba running to be representative. They will be the people on the ballot for that district, for that seat in that district.
Right.
So somebody in Painesville, cannot vote for that person on the old road in Painesville because they can't see the ballot. And if they did not register in that district, they also cannot vote for in that district. And for that person. So that's
okay. So it's clear now. So for those of our folks, so when they move people and bring them and pay them $10, like Moses said, and I like the way you put it, you are imposing a representative on that person,
on the people,
on that community, because the people may not have wanted that person, but now the person has outsourced voters and brought them in, and so it gives them the edge over in the competition.
Yes,
and so that's why it's a bad thing to do. And so it's criminal. It's criminal.
It's criminal. It's fraudulent. It undermines the entire process.
Yes, and it also actually violates the election law. So Moses, I know you said, it's a provision in the election law that prohibits voter trucking and treats it as an offense.
But the
that
point
is
I'm coming,
that
yeah,
can be prosecuted. Yeah.
the point I'm coming from, right? We saw this 2005 with Salif administration. People were moved from one location to another. The Liberian law provides, or the electoral laws of Liberia provide that you vote to where you register. The constituency in which you register is where you vote at. That's what the law provides for. So if you take me from Tompo Village and carry me to Painesville and I register there, I will only be allowed to vote in Painesville. That's what the law provides for. Now, for the presidency, people move people here and there
Okay,
so that
so
they can
you've
vote for
talked
the
about
candidate.
that, but let's come to
Yeah.
this. As you were talking, you guys were
Yeah.
talking, it hit me.
Yeah.
Now that Grand Crew has one of the exponentially populated areas,
Population. Yeah.
what happens here if to build that population in reality they start to truck people from Monrovia to Grand Crew
To go vote for the
to go
presidency?
vote for?
Yeah.
Would that be a possibility?
So they
yes,
can
it's
do
like
that.
it.
However, to vote for the presidency, they don't need to truck people from Monrovia to Grand Crew, because the people, if they can convince the people to stay in Monrovia and vote for the president, then they don't need to take them to Grand Crew to vote, because they can still vote for the
But
president.
how
However, it's for the legislators.
The problem is
yeah, I'm not
pervasive
looking at the
legislative.
legislators. I'm looking at then why inflict the numbers if indeed the number is not the right numbers as per the just ended census, but you make it seem as though, so you say, President, we are one Grand Crew by this number of vote, and in reality, the physical people were not there. So are we saying this is a precursor to say you do pre-ballots and put it into something and put fake names, fake whatever, and count it?
So it's possible. We can't. I don't think we should claim that is going to happen for now.
I'm just thinking
but
out
that
loud.
could be.
And
But
this
that
is a
could be part
conversation.
of. Yes, it's possible, and that could be part of a grand design. So we know that this county of this district is favorable to this candidate. So if we come up with a result that says that this candidate won more
By
of
this
the
number
votes
of
in
votes,
this area, it will not raise as much
Red flag.
eyebrows. So because that's his area or that's her area, so let's go there and inflate the numbers, and then when time comes, we can always shoot it up there to give him or her an advantage. That's a possibility.
Yeah. And because take for example, you cannot have the number of voters in a district that will be higher than the number of individuals who actually are registered.
Registering.
So like Alphonso was saying, if you say you have 200 persons in Tompo Village, and actually you manipulate the process, and even though 10 persons voted, you can still say 180 persons voted. And that you manipulating to make sure that your candidate wins. Even though that 10 persons voted and you register 200, you say you register 200 persons, that would be acceptable.
Or you say the census produced 200 persons.
Yeah, even though the
which
census
is not
produced,
in reality. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
That's why the opposition politicians are saying that first they need to take a closer look at the census report, because it's the census report that the legislature is supposed to use for demarcation of districts. That did not happen. Now you have an electoral process, the voter registration process, that has started already in crisis. People are being moved here and there. Some of the areas people go to, they have not had the opportunity to register. We see all these technical problems unfolding here and there. Honestly speaking, gentlemen, I'm a little bit terrified. I'm scared that this election, something may happen in Liberia. I may be wrong, but the way things are unfolding, I'm really afraid for Liberia.
The other question I wanted to put to Alphonso with his electoral experience, what other irregularities could come outside? I mean, come as a result of this voter registration process. Now we see voters
Trucking.
trucking. So what could be other possible, electoral flaws?
So yeah, so let's begin from the registration process. Again, a number of things can happen. People, as you said, people are already tracking people to go and register to vote. In the registration process, it's a biometric, but it's also an electronic system. So it's possible for whomever, the company or whoever controls the process, to inflate numbers in certain districts without even having human beings in those districts. It's
Absolutely.
entirely possible. And then print voter registration cards that you can give to people later on, or whatever the case may be. So all of these are possibilities. These are things that have happened in the past in other places, especially with this electronic registration system that hasn't happened in Liberia before. That how do people even go and counter check? What's the security around this process? Even in the great United States of America in the 2016 election, we heard that, there were, Russian infiltrators. There were people who try to break into the system to change, do whatever they wanted to do. I don't know what the company is that's managing the registration process in Liberia, what their credibility is, what security they've put into place. But, we
And
know
how scrutinized the system is, even
exactly.
by elections and poll watchers, because
Exactly.
with the 200 people that the United States government allegedly sending or have
Yeah.
sent,
Yeah.
what is their stake in this matter to make sure that this process, because this is the beginning to the elections. If you have a prudent and honest voter registration process,
Yeah.
then we know that somehow there will be some degree of credibility to the outcome of the elections, particularly when everyone is accounted for as a
Exactly.
human being, not
Exactly.
ghost,
Yeah. Yeah.
not plugged into the system.
Yep, exactly. The other thing is now that even though they're doing a biometric system and we need more information about that, they're doing it in phases. So they're going to Montserrat and other counties are now registering people, and then it will go to the other counties later. Will they be able to synchronize the system in time or at all, such that the person who registered in Bapolu during the phase one will be unable to go to Nimba or Granjita to register in phase two as well? Is that like, will they be able to synchronize the system such that that doesn't happen? And what is the security safeguard for that? Because you're doing it in phases.
And then I think that one of the ways will only be fingerprinting.
Yeah.
Because there's
But
no other way you can catch the man if he already registered his fingerprint in the database.
But only if the man fingerprint is in the system,
database. Yeah.
in the database before you go to do voter registration in the other place. If it's not in the database before you go do it, maybe the man can register again in the other area.
You're right. That's why
Yeah.
I think the synchronicity you're talking about
Exactly.
is very critical.
Yeah.
So that way
Now,
it can read at command center
Yep.
at NEC
Yep.
to pick up all of these potential.
Exactly. Yeah. Then of course, one of the stories I was reading is that on the second day or third day they went to Painesville area, 72nd area to do voter registration, and the solar panel that they were using had a glitch. So now they couldn't go on with the process. A resident in the area had to bring her generator to put it on for them to go on with the process.
Pastor, I beg you, man.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Now, that's not my biggest concern. Right?
No, it's a serious concern.
It is. But Monrovia is not. But imagine you go to Riverside.
Yeah.
One of the villages to do registration.
You go to Sesto.
Ancestors or even somewhere in the bush, and where the system breaks down. What happens?
What happens?
The other thing is the same people can pre-register by going online, putting their information in, and then you just go and do it. I wonder how many people have access to internet and computers to pre-register which is the first phase before you do actual registration. So all of these are concerns that I think we need more information, and that election commission needs to clarify.
Yeah.
So Moses, let me put this.
Yeah, come in. Yeah.
So looking at the situation with people pre-campaigning now,
yeah,
there's a great possibility that this can happen during this voter registration process. Am I right? Like,
of
for
course.
instance, Sir Joseph just went out there and gave 1 million Liberian dollars for small businesses for women. And then, as I said, he said, one thing I want you to do for me is to vote for my big brother, President John Manuel. Everybody jeering and yelling, and so he could go to a registration center and even influence and campaign there. Am I right?
Absolutely. What you think is true, because our first thing, let's look at Sir Joseph. He's chairman or executive. He's a senior official of government. So my expectation is that as a senator, he's supposed to know that what he did constitute conflict of interest. He cannot be a sitting senator at the same time campaigning for the president. He should be representing Liberia. Senators represent the country. So you're campaigning for one candidate, you're undermining the very electoral process. But what is happening in the country? Look, this year is indeed will indeed be, especially October will be a critical period. Whether Liberia remains a peaceful, whether Liberia remains a peaceful society or not, Volcano. All these things that are happening just undermine the process. You have an elections commission that is sitting back while supporters of the president are literally campaigning, violating the election laws of the country. You have senior officials. Yeah,
what these guys fail to realize is that the world now is a global village, and everything's being recorded.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying, somebody gets the phone out and they're recording you and they just post it.
Yeah.
So even if the media is not there, it's citizen journalism.
The citizen journalists are there.
You know, so I think it's a scary thing. But let me quickly remind folks, the line is open 404-272-2808. It would like to hear from you if you're in Liberia, just to share with us some of the things that you've witnessed so far since the voters registration process started. What are some of those irregularities that you have experienced in particular? And if Ambassador Romeo Sunda can call us tonight, because I saw you posting your ID card. How did it go? If you can't call, just comment. Let us know how it went on GSA Road, because you will be voting in that neighborhood. And others who are listening tonight, we appreciate if you can just chime in the chat room or call us here and let us know. The number to call 404-272-2808. This is the Issues Room. We're broadcasting our 139th edition here. Alphonso, Moses, Sandy, and Volcano Shelton, the new team here in the Issues Room, coming your way Tuesdays and Fridays. Moses, you are in lead. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah. No, let me just put this information out there. I think it's very important. There's this rumor that at the CDC headquarters, it is alleged that there's a voter registration center there. I don't know how credible is that, but if that is true, then I don't know the kind of election commissions we have, because that would be unprecedented. It has never happened. Voter registration center cannot be at the headquarters of a political party. You're undermining the process.
It's a serious problem, Moses.
Man, that your friend, your friend at the chair of the NDCO, that your friend, you tell us.
That Volcano?
Yeah, that Volcano friend. When I say friend, other white guy.
Man, I'm gonna get over there. I'm gonna get.
Some of them help us understand what your friend drink at that.
I go like my gamma say I gotta have lunch, my man. No, but seriously,
your friend, oh.
Yeah,
what's going on at the
if I may weigh in on that, these things are happening. If that's true, it's just unnecessary and it shouldn't happen. On the issue of people campaigning, it's part of the election law. So the election commission has to enforce these things. Again, when you fail to enforce these little things, you undermine your own credibility, your own credibility. And the public doesn't see you as neutral and credible anymore. So when a big thing comes, even when you're doing the right thing, people will not believe you. And so it's very critical, it's very important for the election commission to begin to take action. As soon as they see these reports of people campaigning outside of the stipulated campaign period, they need to take action. That law, the background to that restriction being put into place, even though I do not agree with it entirely, but the background to that is that they want to level the playing field.
Absolutely.
Not every candidate has money or millions of dollars in their hands to go and campaign for a whole year or 2 years. Also, there are people in government who will use government resources to go and campaign, and they're able to sustain it for a prolonged period of time. So to level the playing field for elections, the period is limited so that everybody has the opportunity to reach the voters at the same time and to campaign. And that's a legitimate point, even though, as I said, I do not agree with it entirely, because one of the reasons I don't agree with it entirely is it has proven to be unenforceable. That particular restriction has proven to be unenforceable. Imagine every candidate now is campaigning. I mean, what does the election commission do? Do they disqualify them? Do they fine them? What if all the other candidates start campaigning? What do? You cancel the election, you fine everybody. So there are certain rules and regulations that are unenforceable, and this might just be one of them. But like I can go as a candidate and go to my district and start dividing food to people and say, remember me. Am I campaigning? Am I not campaigning? So there's a lot of gray area around this law. But it is the existing law. Until it's changed, it should be followed and it should be enforced. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, look, I think of what we're talking about. Yeah, we're not asking for a system that would be 100%. Mm-hmm. But if you see something that is pervasive, like in the case of the CDC, you go to Monrovia, every street you travel, you see billboards with George Weah and Joa Howard Taylor. That's an open violation of the pre-campaign laws. It violates the electoral laws.
Exactly.
If the NEC cannot even utter a word,
any people soundboard them were all ever since before you decide to go for another term. in most countries in Africa, they can put a president.
Exactly.
So maybe those soundboards been there.
Nobody billboards came out when the man was renominated. Prior to he being renominated, they redecorated Monrovia with the billboards.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an open violation of the election law. Why even go to the seat of the national legislature? You have the president and the vice president.
So my concern here is then why does the sitting president appoint the elections commissioners?
That's another good question.
Why? Why can't it be civil society that goes through a vetting process?
What happened is that
the president appoints, and then who you think the loyalty will be to? The president.
Of course, they're appointing power. Yeah,
because you got job. I gave you job, then you want me to keep my own job? Because that's what it sounds like. I gave you job, Moses Sandy. Then you want me to keep my job? I'm the president. Why you think I gave you the job? So you can help me keep my job.
Yeah, but
I don't think that the president should appoint the elections commissioners, the sitting president. I think this should come from the funding source. the funding source, meaning if like for instance we say our elections budget was $40 million and the international community is putting $20 million, then the international community should be able to vet few of the commissioners, civil society, the press corps, the fourth estate. I'm just looking at it from that sphere of honesty and that sphere of, you know, holding people accountable outside of the executive branch. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but
no, you are. But
yeah.
Volcano, that's the essence of what they call tenure position. It means that when you have a tenure, you have some level of independence. And the NEC being an integrity institution, the expectation is that that's why when the president nominates, the Senate confirms.
But my man, lead our Senate. My boy, former Livingston says that the NEC should be an elected position. The commissioner's position should be elected.
So
I think that the executive branch should have, the sitting government should have no part to play in this election or appointment.
So Volcano, here is how it is done. Even though the Constitution says that the president should appoint, as Moses said, again, that there's several guideposts that are put into place to make sure they're independent. So the president appoints, but they have to be confirmed by the Senate. Even after the confirmation by the Senate, one of the things is that they are tenured. Because they are tenured, the president cannot fire them, except they commit a crime and they're convicted in a court of law. So that again gives them some protection to do what they're supposed to do. Then there's another layer. That other layer is that their tenures are staggered, so that one president is not really appointing all of the members at the same time. So for example, the presidential term is 6 years. Some of the people will outlast, or their tenures will outlast the president's
6 years,
of 6 years. So that when he's appointing, he's not appointing, or she appointing, he or she is not appointing all of the members of the commission. So again, there are a number of layers put into place. Is it foolproof? No, it's not foolproof. In fact, in the 1997 election, to make sure that, you know, the issues you raised were addressed, people were taken from civil society. You know, so the youth were represented. Civil society organizations were represented. So you had Tia Nangbe representing the youth on the election commission. You had Dr. Evelyn Kandakai. You had our own Paps, who was Chairman Henry Andrews. So those people came from civil society organizations to go on the election commission. So that is not outside of the norm. But our law currently doesn't require that. Our law says that the president should appoint, and then it tries to build safeguards around them to make sure that they do the right thing, because the president technically, theoretically, doesn't have the authority to remove them. Wow. Unfortunately, our people are just so timid and corrupt. Sometimes they just refuse to do the right thing.
But I think you also got to understand the situation. If you're looking at auditors who are doing the work in the interest of the country, dying mysteriously, there's a possibility too, as an elections commission chairman or election commissioners, considering where you know what's happening and trending in the country, you could be at risk.
Obviously. Of course, a critical position.
Irrespective of the tenure and irrespective of the legal way for you to do what is right for the people. Hey man, life is a matter of preservation. Yeah. So I think that's where all of this happening. But I think we've discussed this strongly. Some folks here say, James Davis said, I strongly disagree with you because it happens to the other commoners, and they were removed under this government when Councillor Mountain is not presently performing. I don't know who is Mountain.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So Martin, I think
he meant Martin. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Martin. I think Martin was chair of the
the LACC, Anti-Corruption Commission.
Yeah. And he was now. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm only stating what the law says. I'm
No,
not
the law
saying the
says that.
president cannot remove people. And some of the things they have done actually to frustrate people is they just say, okay, send you stay there, 10 you say be there for your sister. Finance ministry will not give you.
Don't I
Yeah.
pay you? Don't I
Yeah,
do
No funding.
they ain't give you money to do your job. You
Yeah.
don't have gasoline to put
And
in
then you
your
got
car.
made assignment to it. I find
Yeah.
out you finish, you on your own. But
But-
gentlemen, thank you, man. Listen, so Rams Northern got two. What type of country is this? We'll keep it in the band yet. But what I said, I wanted us to look at tonight, and it's just for you and I who grew up that time, and those of you listening to us here tonight. Let's share this important journey here together. This is written by A. Manin Sumo, and it's titled
He's
Memory
Dr.
Lane.
A. Manasmo.
Yeah, A. Manin Sumo.
Yeah,
But
he's doctor. He's a doctor.
Listen, you
The man say you my added man. I thought you my added
yeah,
man.
But when you want out of that
oh, man,
PhD,
the man did not put doctor to his title. Why are you looking for Dr. Benny for?
But man, the man
I
official
mean, no,
title.
you bring people like to my title. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Doctors are my job. They say call me by my name, my first name. Don't call me Mister or anything. Doctor.
But man, I'm like bread man. Why
No,
you
man,
want to
let
use
me
the man
get
official
Dr.
title?
Don't, yeah, I read him. I think you can't jump up with Dr. Benny.
Sorry, man, sorry.
So it's called Memory Lane. By A. Manin Sumo. He said that were normal days, and by that time, Liberia were under civilian rule. The Yana boys were going from mat to mattress, and the market women had US dollars to spend. Sophie ice cream and Relda Cinema had love brew in the African pot. You could even get a poor boy to eat at Rooster Restaurant. You know Rooster, right? 10th Street.
Yeah, we do.
And those of you listening here tonight, the Thomas Awachi, Rams Norton, James David, I hope you guys following, because this is something that you're gonna be nostalgic about and you're gonna reflect. And cold water was in the Xbox after coming from your hustle. Today you gotta buy plastic bag of water. Back then, at least we could have 4 Xboxes in our home because LPA. Y'all remember LPA?
Yeah, people used to tell LPA, yeah.
Okay, all right.
The smart children, these days children don't know about LPA.
Okay.
Young
Yeah.
Some of my just explaining for the young people say taking things on loan.
LPA is what we call credit card today.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Where you don't have the money, you
Yeah,
go
you
and you take the stuff and you take it out of your pay. It was just kind of different compared to credit card, but it was like getting stuff ahead of time and then it comes from your check. So LPA. So window shopping was in style and men showed off and competed with exotic leather shoes, nice watches, and top shelf colognes. The girls' hair were pressed neatly or beautifully plaited, cornrow, or Megan Platt. Y'all know what they call Megan Platt? Megan means American. The Congo people, they used they abbreviated American and say Megan.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Megan Platt. So that was like a Congo talk. Y'all remember those days when we used to begin writing our letter? It takes me great pleasure to express these few words of mine. Most of the letters, that's how they started.
Yeah, those days, absolutely. Yeah.
It takes me great pleasure to express these few words of mine. I hope this letter meets you in good health. That was another way to put it. I hope this letter meets you in good health. Boys will write the girls and put their best raps. Love without kiss is a cup of without tea. I mean a cup of tea
without sugar. Yeah.
A cup of tea without sugar. Love without kiss is a cup of tea without sugar. You girl, I love you like fish love water. You boy, me pa, I love you like Fula man love his grumpy soup. those were the love letters those days. Then boys bravely penned letters to girls and girls bluffed, but they replied. A letter had to be a persuasive instrument representing the author, or you will get a non-negotiable no answer. People kept stamps and that colorful blue, red, and white border envelopes. If you remember the envelopes back then, in the book bags, because the mailing system worked. You could put your mail in the mailbox, and I was telling someone, I said,
that's true. It did work.
We have mailboxes at corners, in places.
Yeah.
So our mail was RL.
Yeah.
Republic of Liberia Mill, right? So
Yeah.
the real in-town high schools competed at the American Cooperative School, the ACS, on the old road in the gym, with the Spartans from B.W. Harris being the team to beat. That was in basketball. Catholic, Episcopal, and Methodist schools topped the WIAC, as well as Tottenham High, with St. Patrick's leading the pack. T-High also led all parades, with the Come Let Us Graduate Schools positioned at the tail end, and they were proud of being called the Poo-Poo Platoon. You remember the Poo-Poo Platoon?
Yeah.
With a great imagination of the sound of the band. So he's talking about the Flag Day Parade.
Yeah.
How I used to lead the Flag Day Parade because the
we come
boys
from
really
BW,
knew how, they
yeah.
knew how to drill, they knew how to carry us. And then they come, let's graduate school, or way to the end, they were considered the Puma Platoon. Children found 10 cents. We could find money, right?
Yeah.
Anna King got married at the E.J. Roy, and the elites got married at the Centennial Pavilion, and boys and girls respectively danced at parties. You remember slow dance at weddings and parties that created future marriages and breakups? I miss slow dance, I miss slow dance. Jamaica Road was called the Bullfrog Camp. Logan Town was called the Mosquito Camp, and New Crew Town was Jigga Camp. Today times are hard, so no Jigga, I guess. I don't hear people talk about Jiggas. I don't know.
No, we don't.
You can't find Jiggas in Liberia no more. Those are you know Jiggas?
No, but you know, Volcano,
Uh-huh.
you and I in America, but
I mean, I go to the play every day, man. I say, no Jigga, I see Jigga.
nobody talking about Jigga too, man.
I see no Dizogbo. The Baza man call it Dizogbo. So listen to this. So Pinsville was considered out of town, and there was little or no commercial transportation to Gardnersville. So if you had your friend there and you were not driving, you were on your own. Auntie had fried chicken by the Bronx, and the Malians made boon soup on the lane. Diana, you remember Gondo Restaurant, and Salvatore competed to attract the first dates. Newport Street was the place to be on weekends. The big boys and girls danced at Sack Tower. It was only $1 US to swim at Ducor, and the relevant teams in the country were IE and Barrow. Children played Nanfo, Husker, Ziggy Zaloma. You remember Ziggy Zaloma? Big ball and football. If you had to play Blay, you know Blay? You play Blay?
Yeah, you play
If
Blay.
you had to play Blay, you couldn't be dumb, or your chicken thigh would suffer. You remember your chicken thigh? Let me show you the chicken thigh. Right here. The chicken thigh. Right here, man, that will come right here on your big thumb.
Say, my man, I'll eat a chicken thigh.
E.J. Roy High School talent shows had to have a band. Valentine Bryan, Eddie Mensko, John Sharif, Stanley Ford was right there with them. 89.9 FM had Richard Ed Wilson, and our MW had Charles Russell, the medium wave at the time. Monte Carlo had pool tables. Roxy Cinema had Western and karate shows. We cannot forget Rivoli with the Indian shows. Gabriel Cinema was there. After it was Splendid, Garage, Lips, those are the nightclubs, Black Sugar, or 747, Shanana, Bacardi's became a lit favorite. But then Liberia had 9 counties, needed not 1,000 district representatives. No one paraded and added honorables to their names. No political party was a military organization shouting battle cries. I come in peace. Gentlemen.
I think it's a great piece.
Yeah.
I would like to commend my friend and brother, Sumo, for that creative piece. He put a lot into it, and it's a true reflection of what happened those days. And something he said for Canada that really took me by years. We had those male buses in the street, yet people did not break into them.
No.
That's the kind of Liberia we are, my man.
They had glass door stores.
Yes.
In the boutiques on Ken Johnson Road, Benson Street, Randall Street.
Yes.
And that's where I used to go get my shoes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How did our country degenerate to this point? Moses, we have fire hydrant. When I tell people the fire hydrant, you see park where you can't park your car in front
We
of.
did. We had
fire
in
hydrants.
Monrovia. Yeah, we had
Or in
all those things
Kingsville.
there. Yeah, have fire hydrant. Yeah,
We have mailboxes to people's homes.
Nobody
Country has
broke into that.
completed rot. And no one is thinking to put this system back in place. That's why we ask the question: what type of country is this?
Is this?
Yep.
Think about it. What type of country is this that will just completely give itself up like that? And then we take leaders to come in
Yep.
and bring those good things back, because Ghana has done it for herself. Rwanda has done it for herself.
Yeah. I went
And we're
to
still sitting here
and we forgetting ourselves. And
politically charged with the new trends of battle cry and zigwe. This kind of nonsense will not take us anywhere.
No.
Anywhere is not going to take us.
Every political party has a militant wing that wears berets and walk around parade towns doing nothing. I went to, and I will encourage you all to do it when you have time. I went to the Postal Museum in Washington, D.C. And you follow the history of how the people established a postal system in this country. From when the immigrants first came here, how they used to deliver mail. Basically, a group of boys in one town will go to the next town, drop the mail, to bring the mail from there. The other group of boys take it to the next town, etc. Then they have ponies. Then they have wagons. So you walk through the museum until you come to the end where they now have the vehicles they have and the airplanes that they now have.
Then
so
you
it's
have a good understanding.
It's a whole process from where they started to where they are right now.
Absolutely.
They used to take mail and give it to passenger vehicles. Like, for example, I don't want to say a name that, but people who do transportation in Liberia mainly have Mandingo names, right? So let's say this Mandingo guy is Sekou leaving with Hele pickup from Monrovia to Ganta. They will give the mail to Sekou to carry it and drop the mail at the government office. They'll pay Sekou for carrying a load.
Once they go drop it over there,
they then got people to distribute the mail to people. That's how they started. That's how they used to do their mail system until they got to this point today. Why haven't we even doing that? Why haven't we even taken students to deliver mail as a way of helping them, giving them, $5, $10 every week or every 2 weeks to sustain themselves, or creating jobs for people? But then again, what type of country is this? So,
gentlemen, Moses, we ain't got no time. Let's turn it into what type of country?
What type of country?
It's time. What type of country is this? We'd like to welcome Romeo Nabil, Adiaha Umo, Thomas Awaji, Ram Snutton. Listen, we're ready to roll. Raymond Clark, thank you for joining us here. James Davis. This segment is our humorous segment where we kind of just tease the things that happen in our country, and it's only particular to Liberia. We have a few of the what type of country already in the crowd. I'd like to start with Ram Snutton. He threw one here. He says, what type of country is this? Only university is free, but elementary to senior high to everyone just go straight for LU.
No, but I think we got government schools.
Everybody just won't go straight to LU now. No,
so
whether you graduate from high school, you want to register.
Now I see why some LU students that they can't even read 150 paragraph.
And I like this from Idea. She says, "What type of country is this that we have lost everything?
Yeah,
everything, and that's what we just read.
Everything, and that's true.
We've lost everything.
What type of country is this? When the sitting president will be invited to America and treated like a child. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this? And let me add that the sitting president flies on a private jet to these United States of America, and then they sanction some of his delegates. You can't enter. Stay
You can't go to
outside.
that meeting.
You can't enter. You're not coming here. This meeting not for small picking there. You stay outside. You minister. You are. We know you here. We like bro, you must be man. We only one job. We are Musadin and Zanga and somebody else. Even Findabondo, who can be taking photo.
No.
They say Colasco, who can be right next to me holding a briefcase, did not enter that meeting. What type of country is this? That they say, oh.
Yeah. So Alphonso go.
What type of country is this that only have one box, number 69?
No, we have LU. I think LU box number, I think what 90 or something.
Yeah, then LBS was 594.
Yeah, 594. That was the ERBC mail box
box
number.
number 594.
594.
Ram
Yeah.
969.
Yeah, 594. What type of country is this? When you have a deputy commander of the police raping a police officer, but the commander was only suspended for a few days. What type of country is this?
They stay investigating the case, just like all the other cases. They're waiting for the logical conclusion.
Logical conclusion, my man.
What type of country is there that no investigation ever comes to an end?
It's always continuing, right?
Always continuing.
What type of country is this? You take motorcycles in the country and ask the youth going to school or the bicycle, which one you want? They will take the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Because of the man hustle.
but the people that see the college graduates walking in the town, no job. So they better take the motorcycle right now and start making their money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of country is this? You go to college, graduate, but all you do is to play Ludo. What type of country is it? No job.
No job. Thomas Awaji says, what type of country is this when politicians hand out money for small businesses? That's our Joseph.
Yeah. When politicians hand out money for small businesses and at the same time tell you, say, well, vote for my man.
Vote for my big brother. Thomas Awaji comes back and says, what type of country is this when the entire generation was destroyed in 1980 for corruption, but 40 years, things are 100 times worse?
What type of country? I like that.
Yeah, what type of, let me repost it. What type of country is this when the entire generation was destroyed in 1980 for corruption, but 40 years later, things are 100 times worse?
Yeah.
What type of country is this? Thomas is absolutely right.
Well,
Thomas says, what type of country is this when politicians pack people in trucks like cattle to vote?
Paying them $5 or $10 just to treat them.
And I am told that they take you register. That's the first arrangement, and they give you the $10.
Yeah.
On election day, they truck you again. When you finish voting, then they give you the other $10.
Yeah.
So,
what type of country is this?
Max Norton says, what type of country is this? You no longer can hear about Christianity, only politics, senseless debate, no head, no tail. You don't know the people who joined the list from the journalist.
What type of country is this? Yeah. So, what type of country is this? I mean, what type of country is this when you work at the end of a given period, you don't get paid? But the day you ask for your pay, then your supervisor says you are suspended for time indefinite.
I say you rude, you're frustrated.
Then I say you rude.
James David says, what type of country is this? Now all over Amanda, Awetu, and the children are all saying this.
I know.
Everybody has become a militant.
A militant, my man.
Your Montreux Kringa says, what type of country is this that the president refused to speak to the people who elected him?
Yeah, what type of country is this? That's true.
He's very are. He's very are. Yeah,
And
man,
guess what?
But
And
Moses,
guess- Yeah,
imagine, right?
yeah.
The president, all the glamour and pageantry he can enjoy when he travel. The
Yeah,
other trip here, and when he get home, he goes straight to bed.
yeah. And then he goes to church on Sunday
Also,
and they say I couldn't make it.
I will be listening up for his Sunday sermon. I want to make sure he talk about his visit to the CIA. Man, I won't.
He said, Paco, I give it to the people good, man.
But we're strong.
They said, Paco, how many hours you spend at the CIA? He said, oh, but man, I give it to those people good.
He said, but who are there? He said, who all were there?
He said, oh, man, can you imagine, my man, you just couldn't enter.
even my own girl find out. He said, stay outside. I think only you come here.
My man, you
pikin
know that my
Colasco.
picking collapse square. They say, but what's about your man legend? He said, oh, my man, you say what? They say collapse ain't going inside. Then he said legend.
I'm going to take.
What type of country is this? When young
Yeah.
women and men sleep with someone just to get a job, sweeping the streets with broom.
What type of country is this?
Thomas Awaji. Ram Snotton. What type of country is this? Where someone giving info on lawmaker and he's saying, shouting, he can't talk or man can talk or
Yeah, man.
that man can talk or
What type of country is this?
what type of country is this where man can talk or man supposed to be talking or
Yeah. What type of country is it when somebody wanting to be vice presidential candidate, he says on the platform, he says, make it talk, oh, make it talk.
Hey, my man, don't talk. Make it talk.
man can talk. Well, let me get this one quick. I'm borrowing from you, Alphonso. What type of country is this? During the voter registration process, they're using generator to keep the system going. When all those things supposed to be in place, they're supposed to make sure electricity
Yeah.
is at these
Yeah.
places
And have
without
backup.
interruption.
As a,
Without interruption, Moses. What
Of
type of
course.
country is this?
What type of country? What type of country is there? You go to Grand Cape country to register, they say, my man, no land.
No flash low.
Yeah, no flag left, my man. They say, oh, my man, I can't register. They say, oh, you brought your flag left with you.
So James Davis said, what type of country is this when the president can take 1 month for enjoyment?
Yeah, what type of country is this? The president makes a trip. What type of country is it when the president travels to America? All the CDC people disappointed. No time hall meeting.
say again, Moses, say again.
What type of country is this? The president comes to America, all the CDC people disappointed because no time hall meeting.
Oh yeah, because he didn't go around his he didn't go
No.
around his state. Yeah. He usually goes the places and
Yeah,
meet
go
with,
around this year, the people be all over the place jubilating, but this one, my man, no time hall meeting.
and in fact, I think they escorted him right back to the airport in dollars.
Listen, my man, you gotta give it, man.
So there was no time for them to shopping. Oh.
No.
But they took all the burden back.
They say, my man, you get all your thing there with your bag. We got no money yet.
What type of country is this by Montreux Kringa?
Yeah,
When our president is the first to be summoned by the CIA.
yeah, the first in Israel.
oh
First
my
in Israel.
God. Oh my God.
No African leader, no Liberian president before he.
What type of country is this when government ministries don't have running water? Running water.
Yeah.
Whatever country is this?
Whatever country is this, my man? No, no running water.
Whatever country is this, James David? When the international airport using touchless for airplane to land. No, James, I want you that car lights they can use. They can go park the car side the wrong way and right, because
They said,
touchless
the
won't
plane,
get too far.
they said the plane is about to land.
See
then
everybody carrying
Then
the
they
car.
pay the SOS call. They say, you bring all the car. And see that,
whatever country is this? When America brought the president and he couldn't meet his dog.
That's a good one.
my man go see Roxy this year, bro. Hey man, I just remember Roxy. Oh, hey man.
Yeah. He said, my man, I'm back home now, Roxy, but this time.
next time we'll see you.
The man see Roxy, he see a house in Staten Island.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But the man can send for Roxy to go to Liberia.
Raymond Clark says, whatever country is this? The president traveled, bro. No picture on Facebook.
So, whatever country is this? The president traveled abroad. No picture on Facebook. CDC frustrated.
So, I'm going to throw the bomb down now. Whatever country is this?
Yeah.
The country has degenerated to the point where we're taking political commentators now to be our potential vice president. What type of country is this?
You're looking for trouble.
I was about to throw the bomb. So what type of country is this?
They said the more noise you cause, right, qualifies you for the presidency. Whatever country is this?
Whatever country is this? The voter registration center will be placed at party headquarters. Whatever country is this?
Whatever country is this? CDC party headquarters.
Somebody posted in the chat and says it's not true.
Whatever country is this?
They say, whatever country is this? The president buying hair dye to control your hair color.
Whatever country is this? Whatever country is it when Mobile Mulu is the one to decide who votes, who register or doesn't? Mobile Mulu say,
you want to bring up whatever country is this where the president is a pastor and a musician?
It's everything.
Chatusia Morris, whatever country is this when the president dressed and asks, how do I look?
He said, my man, how you like my phone?
You see my phone, eh?
Yeah, he said, Colasco. I'm going to take a picture.
Whatever country is this, Rams Norton? The Zogos looking for money to bring their candidates.
They said, who brought you here? Then they suck on in the candidate's name. They said, oh, man, where you living? I live in Volcano. But what did you come here? You said, well, I want my bros here.
And he know the mail. They just how to pick up.
You know the man is there. I don't know the man.
I know the man. So why you came here for? Oh, the man say you get on $20.
The man say with my car.
When I registered, they will give him my $10.
and then after I vote, then they will give me the other $10.
But what place you see the man? I don't know.
He said, how many are you kids? Oh, big brother will plenty.
Where your friend at? I don't know. We scatter out.
This is so what you came down to here. Oh, you want I can register. I'm messing with my count. He said, "Who they man? Oh, you know, are you the bath for my
children?" Rams Norton, What type of country is this? When Americans send for we are the next time he will say he's sick.
Anything
because if they want him, they didn't know how they were going to torture him at Langley. They never hit the poor my man at Langley. The next time they offer him, even biting and calling, he said, my man, you tell me, I he will not answer biting calling you.
Before the next go come, he said advanced, they were celebrating. Oh, my man, the chief coming.
Yeah.
The chief got to, he got to DC right away. My man is my man. Tomorrow we'll see you.
Yeah, but I let him well. I let him on. What type of country is this when America sent for we are next time he will say he's sick?
My man. What? My man. Why you don't want to make the trade? He said, no, chief, I'm okay. Look at the people, the thing has to be nothing you're to me.
The way the man hit at me, the way they hit at me in Langley, he didn't go back.
Langley. James Bond, they're talking to me like a snowball.
This guy can't disrespect people, man. Whole president that mean it talking to me. Like,
yeah, the man telling me, say, my man, sit down here.
Even all my personal aid to me, the man can't even let it come in the building.
Yeah.
They say they must stay outside.
Yeah, my man, I wanted to drink water. My man said, go right there. They said, the man can't come inside.
I forgot said that Colasco when I in the play, I was asking what Colasco and they said, oh, the man, I was looking all around for Colasco. Yeah. The way the people are treating me, get a small ball. The next time they call me, I'll just tell them, say, I'm sick. I'm going nowhere. I won't even go to America again.
Man, I said, my man, I can't tell you, that put it in the president thing. I don't want to be president no more.
I won't be president again. If I say I won't go to America again, how they will be treating me when I go to America, they will carry me to Langley, because the next time they will carry me to what they call the place, Hoover, the Hoover building, right?
Yeah,
Hoover, FBI.
FBI building. I got Hoover.
He said, my man, he got there and they treated me like small. I want to drink water. My man said, go standing ready. I said, let me bring my water. They said, no.
They said, I want that coming inside.
So, but I got water I want. They said, no, chief.
What type of country is this? Adia Humu, what type of country is this when one have to sell their birthright for $20? Because that's what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
what it is. I mean, your voting right rather is your birthright.
Of course, it's a right. Yeah, it's a right, and that is just taken away by people.
What type of country is this? A president can send empty cars to the mansion, and 2 hours later, all convoy return back home.
Wow. That's a cool one.
That means he's not going to work. He just stays at the legal resort.
He said, my man, you know, I just pretend I'm going to work.
Yeah, going to work.
Wow.
Isn't that waste of resources, Moses?
Of course it is. You know, it's fraud.
Thomas Awaji, what type of country is this? The president looks sad leaving the CIA office. Oh man, the heater that ball.
Man, no picture.
The heater that ball.
All the selfie then ran away.
Right. If they take you over there, most of the people around you waiting for you outside the house beating too. They're waiting for you. They're hard cutting because they will catch them too.
Yeah.
Perhaps not on what type of country is this? The president, foreign minister, when you see his size, you can't recognize him.
The man costs you that 3% away.
and then he shot on top of it.
What type of country that the foreign
the guy who had on that suit during the inauguration.
Yeah. I call it suit, I call it comforter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, I think good for the winter time.
Very comfortable. And can you imagine that January sun?
Yeah,
That's
but
not sun over there.
I'm comfortable, man.
That's what Kimaya's suit at the inauguration. That thing our comforter. You are wearing comforter.
I don't know who told that guy to wear those clothes out there.
But you know what? I had to make out a job. The man stood out in the crowd.
Yeah, oh yeah. The man became a Spanish style. So, Claire, we all saw the man. She said, "What, Josh?" That man will make a good 40 minutes.
Oh yeah. All right. You Montro, what type of country is this when the CIA can avoid to watch myself on video?
Yeah. He said, "Oh, my man," he said, "It's not happy, but are you there?" You remember the other time when you called the people to your office? He said, "You know what happened?" He said, "Okay, where's so?"
And that thing the big projector.
Yeah.
You know the first thing they did?
No.
They put the projector on while the light was on. They cut the light off where it made the plate die, man, jack. And then they put the projector on.
Damn. Then he said, "Also, Mr. Weir."
Minter Louis is asking, where is our president? They said man will be home tomorrow and then he will be in church Sunday. But he will not talk about his visit.
Everybody concerned about the president. No press statement, nothing.
Someone I watch, he said, let's see if he will do plenty of talking when he returns. No, that man going straight to bed.
Sitting president, your chief of protocol said, "Can't even come and whisper in your ear." They say, "No, sister, you keep away."
What's that you crazy? Is this sister stay out outside you?
This is not about you.
That Fina Bondo wanted to tell him something, eh?
Yeah, you want to go say, they said, "Nah, you need to look." The guys out there are very authoritative. Now you need to behave yourself, okay? Step aside.
What's that you crazy? What's that you crazy?
When the Colasco, yeah, the way they were talking to you, said, "My sister, you gotta play low, yeah." They play that bro.
Nana, what they call her said? What her name? In Liberia, they call her, is it children mother or something?
And they call B sister?
No, there's a name for her.
Rescue
mother. They say, you see, I'm rescue mother. You're gonna rescue the man. We're talking about the man. You can't stay inside talking about your rescue mother. That go outside. Talking about your chief of protocol. What's that so what, man?
Go to Sekou to complain. Sekou, look at the way that man was talking to me. Now, my sister play low. But what I did is say, "I'm telling you, play low."
Sister play low, eh?
Play low.
Sister make you play low, eh?
Play low.
You want to get in trouble? Yeah, you better keep quiet.
Then Colasco say, you see the person, he said not even talking that you won't talk.
You won't come show up, yeah.
I beg you play low for what I get in trouble here.
So James Davis said, whatever country is this? Most youth leadership are 50 to 60 years old.
That's why it said you got dangerous. That oldest daughter is 25, but you said you.
Rap Snutter, what type of country is this? The president got the highest testimony among all African leaders.
I tell you, man, he's the first to be invited to the CIA.
But that's wrong, though. That's wrong, man. How you tell somebody came to the CIA, man?
What type of country is this, Raymond Clark? The president was almost treated like former Panama president.
Yeah. Noriega.
That was Noriega, right?
Yeah,
Noriega.
Noriega, yeah. Man, people denigrated him, man.
Manuel Antonio Noriega. He was here, man. You go see helicopter descending on top of him.
They said, "What?
They
What's
picked
going
the man
on?"
up and brought him. Oh my
I
God.
said, "Well, man, you gotta go."
Thomas Awaji said they gave the president a staunch warning. He got scared straight.
Yes, well, I think we hear again. You go visit your mentor, yeah. And right now, we try to be nice with you. We just telling you go back and tweak things. But oh yeah, and then nonsense for that play again. We're saying to your mentor, don't be roommate.
After that, you say you wanted a job, you said, "I'll lie. Try it. You'll be to the same place."
Don't be roommate.
Two of them will be on the Liberia wing.
Yeah.
What type of country is this? The president wanted to pee and party, and he can't stay.
The person, my man, would say, "Sit down." Oh man, I want to use the restroom. He said, "Sorry." Now we're telling you, you need to keep quiet.
Was it? When was it? When the man at prison?
And then when he thought you were in that, bro, oh man, I won't go in the bathroom. And then the guy looked at you and said, "So what did you say you fight?" Asked the other man, "Well, what is he saying?"
So listen, was it?
Yeah.
What type of country is this when the corner our president speak Liberian English?
Yeah. And then I'm like, give me an answer for him. But what is he saying? So, oh, he wants to use the restaurant? He said, yeah, oh, okay, now you need to tell him. You need to keep quiet.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Look, Mr. We are. And he said, yes, sir. Okay, I heard what the gentleman told me. Now you need to be told this is a very serious meeting. You need to keep quiet.
Was it a man will catch you?
This is a very serious meeting, Mr. President. Ain't no time for I want you.
Moses, where you going, have a man? You have mess your whole system up.
Oh, you see that?
Yeah, computer.
You see?
Face your thing.
Must have really like this segment. Yeah.
What type of country is this when the president told the CIA boss that he having bladder issues? All right, my man, we're leaving in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, Moses.
Yeah, my
I'm
man.
telling you. The one that Finabono coming to we are here to tell you something.
Yeah. Is this sister? Now you need to step aside. Oh no, my chief is saying, I'm telling you. The next time I see you, you won't be around here anymore.
Officer, I'm sorry.
Then she went to Kolasco to go, guys. Kolasco, you are the way they are talking to me. Say, hey, my sister, you can play low, yeah. No, but I didn't know what I'm telling you, Fina, you gotta play low.
That other old man that can be in the military uniform, I think that he 80 camp. He enter. Can you imagine 80 camp? She enter.
People say, you play low. We only want to the TV boys here. Minister Daly, he said, yes, sir. Okay, you Attorney General, right? He said, yeah. But what have you done with all these cases?
Yeah.
He said, are they man? He said, who's the man you're talking about? Ain't not the man sitting over there. The tell me, I might not do nothing. Mr. President, it's not true you said that. Don't mind that man. I able to say something like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They said, man, Minister Day is saying that the president is telling us that you're not saying the truth. He said, no, that's not true. I told you. He told me not to do anything.
my head not really there yet.
Everybody fighting for themselves.
Then they tend to Zanga. They say all that American training we gave you, we just give it to you for nothing.
Yeah.
You turn the American the training.
Yeah.
The army, you turn it into partisans army.
Yeah.
Small thing here, go out there.
Yeah.
Say, but that the mandate from the president.
Yeah,
Then they tend to we are.
Yeah.
He said, did you give that mandate?
They said, oh, did you give him the mandate? He said, no. He said, no, Chief, you said it. Yeah.
The person was sweating in Central AC. I'm gonna be honest with you. Our AC are different from the AC in Liberia.
Yeah, now portable thing and that.
Not portable thing. But Moses, you know what the air conditioner in Langley means? You see that small AC? That thing will make that person was sweating.
But then the man sitting in a very cold office. The man was sweating like that summertime.
Not a portable AC in Liberia.
Yeah, no portable.
No Chinese BTU. The Chinese BTU over there.
Said, why are you sweating like that? Look, say, could that be first can don't bring it to me. Look at you. You can't ask me that kind of question.
Wait, let's get home.
Yeah, and we'll come and go. Also, because you see the people that were showing up. You can't ask me why I was ready.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No. The man asked him, he said, Chief, you need a handkerchief?
He said, Totofina. And I said, oh, Chief, I wanted to get your hand there, but the message. I must sit down.
I must leave my low.
Hey, sister, remiss it.
Yeah, remiss it. After the meeting, the kiosk and the going, you say, no, you come here. Again. I'm telling you something because you're own nothing. And some people hear everything all on Facebook. I'm telling you, if I hear one thing, other people make me see what there you go.
I will fire all of you tomorrow. I will change the whole delegation. I will change.
Yeah.
All of you will be on a job. You must just go over there and talk anything on Facebook. They kind of hitting. They were hitting me inside there. I will go talking.
Yeah.
If I will go to church Sunday, I will go and preach straight from the Bible. I will not talk anything on politics. No politics.
Now you look at somebody, man, hello, my man, you part know you opposition, but let me get here something.
Okay, so we'll take the last one.
Yeah.
David, what type of country is this? The president forgot about breakfast and lunch and considered dinner as breakfast.
But man, there was no way about it.
Yeah, the man did not eat breakfast, he did not eat lunch.
No, not even, man. Water the man could not drink.
Yeah, man. The treat our person so gonna way.
Yeah, man, reduce the man to forgive to go to the bathroom side and then they give everyone.
I want PP.
Yeah,
what did he just say?
Yeah, what did he say?
I said I want PP.
When you go to Liberia, you reach that airport, man, I will get you. What's it?
Oh, my man, I said, I got my car waiting at the airport.
Did you hear that comedy? All right. If you want comedy in, they're not getting public office.
They're not getting public office.
But in fact, Volcano, somebody was telling me, say they got my car at the airport already. And so I get it. Oh, that guy for the issue, bro. Yeah, but I can't remember.
They're pointing that guy.
So those guys were at the hotel outside the CIA headquarters. They were not even allowed to enter the compound. Thomas Awaji.
Yeah, they went down. Then he said, Seku. The Minister of Information says, "10 years running, you find with that Seku."
All right, gentlemen, we gotta go.
Yeah.
It's 9:00. Yo, thank you so much to everyone who was here, who were rather here tonight. We say thank you so much. It was fun. We look forward to Tuesday again. Liberia is never shy of giving us something. Maybe we might break the ice. Maybe he might talk about his trip there to the
He
US.
may.
We don't know. But as it is, we will still be watching the situation with our national elections and what's trending in the country.
Of course.
Alfonso, good to see you. Moses, I know you had your therapy. I can see you.
Yeah.
There was in
your
your
lungs,
therapy
your
for
lungs
me. I
is
was
fresh,
sleep
it's
sound
fresh and
tonight.
long. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but I want to say it was a pleasure, man, guys. You know, yeah, this segment of the program is very entertaining.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Plus, but the discussion was also very enlightening. So, it was
Yeah,
great
it
being
was.
with you all tonight as well. Thank you.
Yeah,
Let's look forward to seeing you on Tuesdays.
sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's put the
And
last one there. Man said this president did not say go on several occasions. of the program.
Program as well.
he said, "But man, I want no picture."
Yeah.
How you put my picture when they're all talking to me like that?
You stupid. If you do that thing, I'll fire you.
Yes, let me see one picture from you. Oh, they behind me, picture. Yeah. Well, guys, that's it, man.
All right, gentlemen.
Was
Just,
good, man.
just
All
stay
right.
tuned. I'm about to end studio, so just stay tuned. Just relax for seconds.
Okay.